In this video, I will show you how to use Copilot Agent Toolkit. So, Copilot Agent Toolkit is a VS Code extension for designing and customizing Microsoft Copilot Agent interfaces. So, if you build any agent using Microsoft Copilot Studio, there is a way through which you can configure the user interface. Now, remember, this method only works for non authenticated chatbots or Copilot or agents. Now the extension generates the complete style option for the Microsoft Bot Framework WebChat. There is a Bot Framework WebChat CDN integration, and there's a direct line token endpoint configuration, which are readily available within the VS Code itself. So this is the URL through which you can download the Copilot Agent toolkit within your VS Code as an extension. What configurations you can perform? It allows you to design the UI theme for your agent or copilot. Now, the components that can be configured are auto scroll, avatar, bubble, emoji set, font, uh, hiding the upload button, padding, sendbox, spinner, suggested action, typing animation, and many other configuration. Now, if you open the Copilot Agent Toolkit, you will be presented with a different theme. Now you have an option to change that theme. So as you see in this interface, I have picked up the blue theme, and I made some change over here. So you can see that this is an agent which has some text in it, GIRI. I have put my avatar image. I can change that. I can change the border radius. I can change the font. So there's a lot of options that are available. And because of this mock direct line setting enablement, I'm able to see the preview live. Also, I can perform an export to JSON and HTML so that I can export these values and use within my website. Now, this is how the configuration will look like: general, sandbox, avatar, bubble, suggested action, advanced, and you can change some values. So you can change the accent color, background color. You can select the font, monospace font, root height, root width, then send box. The send box is basically through which you're going to send the message to the agent, right? Now here you can change the background color, hover color, border top, height, even hide the upload button. Then we have avatar, so you can change the bot avatar as well as the user avatar, change the background color, change the initials, change the image URL, so you can make those changes. Same goes with the bubble, so how you want the bubble to be represented. So different bubble for user as well as for bot, and you can change the border radius and the minimum height. Now, remember, the border radius and minimum height is common for the user bubbles and bot bubble. So for user bubble, you have this user border radius as well, so you can explicitly set that as well. Suggested actions, once the agent responds to you with some suggested action, you can even configure that particular interface like the button. And then there are some advanced settings related to auto scrolling, showing the emoji set, setting up the subtle color, font size, breaking the word, padding, and all those things. So let me show you in action. So in VS Code, so first thing what you need to do is you need to go into the extensions tab over here and start typing for Copilot Agent Toolkit. So you just type in Copilot Agent, and I believe the search should give you the the extension. So Copilot Agent Toolkit. Now this does not have a direct release version. It's in pre-release mode. It is in preview. So you can play around with the agent toolkit and see how it works for you. There's a whole bunch of documentation provided, so it gives you a comprehensive VS Code extension for designing and customizing Copilot agent interface with real-time preview, theme gallery, and export capability. So whatever I showed you in the screenshot, you can see those all things are mentioned. So you have an option to see the theme gallery, live web chat preview, customization panels, and export functionality. So these are the four features which are provided, and there are some other documentation related things. So they have given you the nice instructions as well, so you can go ahead and make those changes to your bot. And it is all production HTML. You can just copy paste the HTML into your live say application or the website. All right, so how do we test this? So these are the settings. So how do we test is, first you can just invoke the command. So I just put an arrow over here, and if I just type in Copilot, so let me again show you. So put an arrow, and the moment I put this angle bracket, it will ask you Copilot Agent Toolkit, open Copilot Agent Toolkit. So Control Shift A is the shortcut. I'll click on Copilot Agent Toolkit, and this is the toolkit which will get opened. So as you see, this is a theme gallery first, and so this area here you can configure. This area you can preview the changes what you made, right? So if I make it purple, this preview will be shown in purple. So let me unzoom a bit. Yeah, so this is fine. And then if I make this theme, if I change this theme, so light minimal, dark professional, maybe I just want teams inspired one, or maybe an ocean blue, so I can make use of these themes, right? Now, there is, I believe there is no way to create your own theme, but you can pick from this theme and then extend your capability. So I have this use mock direct line enabled. Now if I turn it off, I cannot see the preview, so make sure that you turn it on so that you can see the preview. uh, if I collapse all these things, I can see general, sandbox, avatar, bubble, suggested action, and advanced. So I'll pick up this modern purple theme. Now let's do the setting one by one. So go to general, accent color is purplish. So let me pick up some different shade of purple. Okay, so let me make it more darker. And then yes, this is what I want. Then background color, if you want something different other than white, yes, you can pick and choose. So let me make this as a background color. Primary font is Sego UI, so you can change the font: Arial, Helvetica, Times New Roman, Georgia, and Verdana. So let me pick up Verdana. And monospace font, Consolas. Root height, root width, I will not make the change. So general is good. Go to sendbox. Now sendbox is basically this part of the interface. So this is that sendbox, right? Uh, so background color, yes, make it. I'll make it something red. I'm not concerned about the UI at the moment, but I'm just showing you how you can configure all those things. So the button color is like this attachment color. So I can make it maybe yellow. So let me make it yellow, and this changes to yellow. Hover color is blue. I can make hover color as blue. So this is what it is. Text color, I want to see the text, so I'll make it white, or maybe some different color. So let me make it white over here, and whatever you type, this is that text. So if I make it blue, then this becomes blue. So let me make it white, and this is the text color. Then the placeholder color, border top, solid 1 pixel. I can make this as say maybe 5 pixel. So if you see the change which has been made, this is this the border color, the border top. Okay. So you can change that. You can put the placeholder color. So the placeholder color can be, maybe I'll just make it pink or something. And then I can make the change in the color here itself, the border top color, whatever color I want. So maybe if I want this color, I'll just copy this, and the moment I make the change, you will see this line change to that pinkish color. Height is 60. If I want more height, see the height. Yes, I can make that changes. So but it is limited to some value. If I don't want the upload button, I can just go ahead and hide the upload button. So upload button is hidden now, so this button is gone. So that's about sandbox. Going to avatar, so I can see this avatar. So this avatar is for the bot and for myself. Okay, now this is by the PowerCat team. I don't want this value to come over here, and I don't want this bot to look something like this. So I have an option to change the bot avatar. So this is a bot avatar, and this is a user image avatar. So for a bot avatar, let me see if I have any value. So yes, this is the bot avatar which I'm going to use. So that's my GitHub profile. So user avatar, I will make this change, and as you see, my image has been updated. Bot image URL, let me see if I have any specific bot image. Now this is what is already there, I believe. I want something else. So maybe I already have a URL. So let me show you that URL. I'm just picking it from PowerCat Teams bot image. Okay. So say, let's assume if you have this image, yes, you can go ahead and make this bot image URL. So now this value will change once I make that change. So chatbot logo. So this is what I am using now, chatbot logo.png. Bot background color, I can make the background color as white or blue or red or whatever I want. So let me make it say pink so that it is visible, and user background color, I can make it say blue, and this will be visible over there as well. Now the border radius is 50%, means it is a circle. I can make it say 20% or maybe 10%. So this is how it will look. Same goes with my image. It is like the border is now 10%. And user initials, if there is no image, then user can put some value. So I'll put GBU, and for avatar, I'll say bot, and then I can make that change. Yes, so that's for avatar. Now go for bubble. So this is how the bubble will look like. So bubble has a border radius of 0. I can make the border radius of whatever I want. So as you see, I'm talking about this bubble. So this is this bubble, right? So this is the bot bubble. This is the user bubble. So border radius 30%. Yes, I will make it look like something like this. Minimum height is 50. I can make the gap. So if you see the gap, now I've increased the gap so that it is roomy and there's more breathing space. Uh, then there are other things which you can configure. I'm not going to bother about that. So this is how I want. Now user border color, user text color, user background color. So for user it is white, but if I want in some different color, I can make that color as well. So it might look ugly, so let me put it as green color. Yeah, so that's about bubble. Now let's go to suggested action. So suggested action is if someone types you or gives you that option, like that three buttons which comes up, so you can pick up those values. So you can configure that as well in suggested action. And that also has a border radius and other configuration. uh, then we have advanced. So go to advanced. We have message max width 480. So here, message max width, message min width, padding regular. So this is that padding. As you see, I have just removed the padding. Now if I keep the padding, this is how the interface will change. Font size 70% small, or maybe I'll make it 50% small, and then the font size will change. Break word, message word break, auto scroll snap, show emoji set. So you have an option to show the emoji set or not show, and then the subtle color. So this is how you can basically configure all the configuration. Now what do you do with all these things? You have an option to export it to a JSON. So I'm just exporting this to a JSON, and maybe let me call this as webchat style.json. Click on save, and let me show you what that output is. So this is the configuration which we made the bot or avatar image change. We made the typing animation. There is a typing animation background, there is a user avatar image. So there are some configuration which are not available in the user interface, but then you can go ahead and make that change uh, in the JSON file. So what is a typing background animation change? So if I copy this URL, and I'll show you that if you have a different image, yes, you can make use of some different image as well. So once you have that JSON file, you can use that JSON file as a configuration. Or like if you think that, oh, now this Copilot is ready or the agent is ready, now what I can do is, let me go over here. So let's assume this is like your JSON. So let me export. Yeah, we come over here. Let me pick up some value. Let me make some change, like let me get into say light minimal. Okay, so if this is what you want, click on export HTML. So I'll go on export HTML, and I will name this file as July agent. So I've named that file as July agent.html, and if I want to open this file, let me drag that July agent.html and open it. And once that file is dragged and dropped, you will be able to see the HTML. Now I just dragged and dropped the file, I saved the file, but nothing is coming up for me. Now why it is? Because you just can't directly save the HTML and preview it. You need to do something on that. So this is that HTML file, julyagent.html. Control plus, so I'll just zoom it a bit. Now here it's a HTML file. It has all the JSON configuration in an HTML file. The only thing which you may need to change is the inject token endpoint. Now from where do you get the inject token endpoint? Like if you're testing a Copilot agent, now I have already created the stamp agent in Copilot Studio. Make sure that the authentication is no authentication, because it only works when there's no authentication for the agent. Go to channels, go to the line, and from here you will find the token endpoint. Copy that token endpoint, go to your VS Code HTML file, and paste that token endpoint, because you need some agent to demo or like say see the output, right? So now this is linked, this HTML file is linked to that specific agent, which is a stamp agent. Let me save this, and now let me go ahead and drag and drop this July agent. So let me, what's the name of that file? So the name of the file is July agent. Yes, that's right. So let me get this July agent, and I have another agent created as well, but this is how the app will look like. Now yes, you know that this in full screen it looks something like this, but what I would advise is like you just minimize it and see the interface. Now this is how the usually the chatbot or the agent should look like, right? Now let me type in the message. So I'll say hello, and then you get this message, right? How are you doing? And then this is how you can test. So this is that same interface which we have configured. Now I changed the theme, I changed it to green, and then I kept it to default, but you can customize it to whatever theme you want, and then you can use that. So that's it folks, this is all about Copilot Agent Toolkit. Remember, it's an extension in VS Code to uh, make the changes on your agent which you build, so you can configure the user interface. Now I showed you there are various things which you can configure using the Copilot Agent Toolkit. You can configure the sendbox, avatar, bubble, suggested action, advanced. Now remember, this is in a preview mode, so it is not currently stable, but you get an idea that yes, there is a way through which I can make the changes or the user interface changes for this Copilot agent. Now you have an option to export the JSON, you have an option to export the HTML. So this is how you can make those changes within the application. And as I mentioned to you, I can change the bot image, I can change the user avatar image, I can configure the border radius, and there's a whole bunch of things. Now this is one of the way. Now there is an another way which I've already covered in one of the video. So the another way is by making use of something called as Copilot Studio Kit. Now this also has a web chat playground, and here using the web chat playground, so this is one of the tool within Copilot Studio Kit. So this is almost similar, I would say. So here you have an option to create a theme, you have option to web chat preview, and then you can download the HTML or copy the HTML and JSON as well. The only difference is here you may not be able to set the font, or maybe there might be some settings which are currently not available directly in the interface, and then there are some settings within this application Copilot Agent Toolkit. So it's like, pick and choose whatever you want. But remember, the end goal is like you have an option to export JSON. Now JSON is a comprehensive file, so it has whole bunch of things which you may not even find in the interface configuration. So have a read through that, have a look into that. Like think about like typing animation duration, typing animation height, typing animation width. So all these things can be configured using this different application. So go ahead, try Copilot Studio Kit web chat playground. Go ahead, try Copilot Agent Toolkit, and make your bot look more user friendly and nice. Thanks for watching.